on island Hvar, where I'm getting a little bit tipsy. But seriously, the wine here is so good, and so is the food. But for the ultimate refreshment, there's of course the crystal clear sea. You're watching sun-drenched Sail Ho Croatia.
The island of Hvar, easily one of the best-known islands of the Croatian Adriatic, has been known since the antiquity due to its important strategic and nautical position, cultural and sacral monuments, and uniquely beautiful nature. Thanks to a mild climate, warm winters and pleasant summers, the island is host to numerous guests, scientists and travelers who come here attracted to lush Mediterranean vegetation, great tradition and superb nightlife. Today, Hvar is considered to be one of the most beautiful islands in the world. The town of Yelsa is situated in a perfect spot for nautical tourism, due to its extremely indented coast with numerous bays and islets. Evenings are especially fun, as many yachtsmen moor at the Yelsa waterfront, eagerly anticipating stepping off the boat for a party or some of the great nearby restaurants or bars. Due to its elongated shape and location, the port is extremely well protected from the winds, and the ships here are completely safe. Jelsa is an old settlement whose remains date back to far history. During the Middle Ages, the island was visited by numerous adventurers, biologists, ethnologists and archaeologists studying plants, minerals and ancient monuments. Walking through the old streets with many houses and details from the past is a unique pleasure. Walks by the sea, along walking trails or through pine woods are as delightful and gorgeous as roaming picturesque villages scattered over hills and valleys, full of Mediterranean vegetation and medicinal plants, with well-preserved rural architecture characterized by narrow streets and squares. One of more interesting traditions is following the cross procession, which has been going on for 5 centuries without missing out a single year. The procession begins each year on Good Thursday at exactly 10 p.m, with 6 processions simultaneously departing from the 6 parish churches in the central part of the island. The island of Scedro is anchored off the southern coast of the island of Hvar, protected as a nature park in its pristine beauty with its many secluded coves. It provides an exceptional experience for every visitor. And once you feel the charm of these quiet coves, the intoxicating sense of nature, with the glittering crystal clear sea in the summer sun, you will want to stay here forever. The coves of Scedro have been known since ancient times as good anchorages and safe harbors. And some of the most famous battles have taken place in this area, such as the one between Pompey and Caesar in the year 49 BC, as evidenced by numerous findings in the depths of the sea around Scedro. Visitors of the Yelsa Municipal Museum can have quite a special look into the interior of a civic house from the late 19th and early 20th centuries. In the representative Green Lounge, there are nicely preserved walls painted in a typical late 19th century technique. Together with the exhibits from the cultural and historical collection, the space is visually organized in a harmonious way with artworks. The second floor, originally intended for dormitories, now serves as a classic gallery space, where other works from the collection of graphics, paintings and reliefs are arranged in thematic units. The south side of the house, where the textile store used to be on the ground floor, has been transformed into a gallery that holds occasional exhibitions. Opposite the museum is St. Ivan Square, the most beautiful square in a Renaissance Baroque style, with an octagonal church from the end of 17th century. The church is characterized by a diversity of styles: Gothic, Renaissance and Baroque. The square and the streets surrounding it were built from the 15th to the 17th century, and they represent the most preserved architectural part of Yelsa, together with the houses built from the 16th to the 20th century, with Renaissance luminaries and balconies. Members of the Yelsa Folklore Society did their best to dress in traditional folk costumes and show us their traditional dances and music.
Ma je došlo vrime, ma je došlo vrime, ma je došlo vrime, bo sunce sjaje.
We were mystically drawn by some of the best mouth-watering scents coming from the nearby park.
Something's cooking. Što se kuha?
Kuha se dalmatinska agregata. U Jelsi to je spiza, riba sa povrćem.
Sjajno.
To je jedna stara naša hrana koja je odvojila ovdje masu ljudi, jer je to bila hrana koja je odgojila ljude, jer je bilo puno familija ovdje, imali su puno dice. Vatali su ribu, nisu imali frižidera, nego su to sušili. Onda se radi od suhe ribe, ista ova priča.
A i od suhe?
A onda su stavljali u muškadure. Znate šta je muškadur?
Ne.
To je frižider koji ne radi na struju. Znate?
Kako
to je
radi?
četvrtasti komad i sa komarnikom je okolo obložen. Unutra se stavi riba sušena. Očisti se, rasplati, stavi se po soli, stavi se na buru. I onda se to suši. Tako su ljudi zadržavali da im bude friška riba jer nije bilo frižidera. Ima 40 kila ribe, ima 20 kila krumpira, ima 5-6 kila luka, ima petrosimula 3 kila, ima 5-6 litara vina, ima 10-13 litara temeljca i tako dalje. Ima za jedno 100 ljudi najmanje. 150-200, a može i više.
And where there's good food, there's surely good wine.
You do the talking, I'm going to do the singing. No, this is pretty fantastic.
Yes. So
It is. It's very light. It's very easy to drink. It's a summer wine.
that was I was actually want to tell you.
I
So
know.
Opal is a very special wine for this kind of a season when it's too hot. When you are, I don't know, eating a steak and you want a glass of red wine, but not red wine which will impress you, which will give you the strong feeling. You want Opal. Opal is a wine from the grape called Plavac Mali, which is a local kind of grape for the island Hvar and for our part Croatia called Dalmatia. This is very nice. It wouldn't express you, wouldn't give you the strong feeling, and you will just take glass again.
Again and
chill.
again and again. Okay, we're going to have to do this again.
Apart from top quality wines, the island of Hvar is also known for its superb olive oils.
S nama je gospodin Đorđan, predsjednik udruge maslinara otoka Hvara. Đorđan, osim genijalnog imena, vi imate i sve informacije vezane za maslinarstvo na otoku Hvaru.
Pa jasno da imam, ja sam dosta godina u tome i od rođenja praktički, familija mi se bavi isto maslinarstvom i vinogradarstvom i udruga maslinara otoka Hvara ima oko 140 članova, znači od Sučurja do Hvara. Mi smo udruženi u jednu organizaciju i promoviramo naša maslinova ulja, oblicu, našu dalmatinsku oblicu. I to je naša glavna sorta. Imamo i još ovih dodatnih sorti, talijanskih takozvanih, ali oblica je naša domaća sorta, levantinka i lastovka.
Lavender is a well-known beauty, unique for its beautiful scent and its wonderful color. Wooden wardrobes used to keep potent smells of lavender in, and when the washing would be put out to be dried, the air would spread that smell even more, so you'd feel like you're in heaven.
Lavanda se upotrebljava u mnoge svrhe, od kozmetike, od recimo u sapunima, čisto kao aromaterapija, recimo kad imate glavobolju, za bolji san, da bolje se spava. Može se upotrebljavati direktno na koži, ne smeta i može se, čak i djeca recimo u neke svrhe mogu upotrebljavati lavandu, ona nije toliko agresivna, a kaže se da je hvarska lavanda po mirisu i taj cvijet koji imamo u ovim vrećicama, on ima jači miris nego ona provansalska. Da.
After the delicious fish stew, gregada, served in a large pot by the many chefs from Yelsa restaurants, I have decided to find out a bit more about this dish, and lucky me, I've come to the most perfect place just for that.
So basically, as far as I understand, gregada was a poor man's food because the fishermen used to catch big fish and small fish, and small fish wouldn't fit on the grill.
Yeah.
So that's why they would put it inside this soup.
Yes,
right.
It is in a soup, but it is like a soup and main dish.
It doesn't really have much liquid, really, right?
Not so much
Okay.
liquid. It shouldn't be soup. It is.
It's thicker, right?
It's thicker. It's liquid, but not as usual fish soup.
Yes.
So it has to be fishes inside, pieces of fish. Gregada is better when there are more types of fish.
So this gregada is with scampi?
With scampi, yes. With scampi, sea bass, I think swordfish inside. Carrots.
Potatoes and plenty herbs.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Yep.
This is real comfort food.
Really?
This is like, it just, the taste of it just makes me feel relaxed and at home.
Like at home?
Yes, exactly.
Really?
Oh, it's so good.
With this kind of food I could eat every day.
Exactly.
For lunch and for the dinner.
You see, I mean, I can taste the herbs, but it's not too spicy. It's got a bit of a, I don't know. It's quite full. It's very full. The taste is very rounded. It's very oh God, it's so good.
The island of Hvar wines are among the best and most prized wines of Dalmatia. Since the times of ancient Greeks and Romans, people of this region have been cultivating vineyards, and through their hard work and dedication, they have perfected processing grapes into premium wines. We visited one very interesting winery on the south side of the island of Hvar, part of which is located below the sea surface. Our kind host Nicola, a very impressive young man, introduced us to the secret of one of the most famous wine varieties on the island.
Tell me about the wine. What is your top seller? What is
the top seller of wine from the whites? I prefer Bogdanusha because that is the grape which is only grown on the island of Hvar. Nowhere else in Croatia, nowhere else in the world.
Bogdanusha.
Bogdanusha, yeah, it's called Bogdanusha. It's like given from the God. Yeah. It's very easy wine. I call it summer wine because it has big acid, low alcohol. It's very fresh.
And you can drink it all day long?
Yeah, and you will not be drunk. If you take a posh ship, it's 13.5, 14 alcohol. Right. It's if you drink it all day, you will be a lot of drunk.
Yeah, I'll try not to do that. What are we drinking to? This fabulous new friendship, right?
Yeah, of course.
Pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I could drink too. Yeah, both glasses of this. This is delicious. It's delicious.
Opposite the town of Hvar is one of the most beautiful archipelagos for sailing, Paklinski Islands. The Azure Sea and only a few small settlements and beaches are a paradise for all who seek peace away from the summer crowds.
So we're in heaven, an absolute heaven. I don't know how we're going to do this conversation because I'm completely overwhelmed in the best sense of the word. This is the most beautiful place ever. Yeah. But tell me, how big of a boat can I bring over here? What can your marina take in?
This is, first of all, I want to introduce this marina. This is ACI Marina, one of the 22 marinas that ACI have over the whole Adriatic coast. The marina capacity is 180 boats, and the biggest one marina can take is 40-meter boat.
Okay, yeah. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah,
right.
So when you come next time, the 40 is the biggest one. Yeah. The capacity is 180 boats, as I already said, but sometimes the marina is full with 140, 150 boats because the boats are getting bigger each year.
The marina is of a seasonal type and is open from the beginning of April to the end of October. It offers its guests many other facilities besides the berth and the safe accommodation for the boat. Restaurant and coffee bar, massage pavilion, grocery store, children's playground and bowling alley, excellent sanitary facilities and Wi-Fi access.
The marina is situated in front of the Hvar, on the Paklinski Islands. It's like a group of small islands, and it's the island is called Saint Clement, and the bay is called Palmigiana, and so is marina. Yeah.
Yes.
St. Clement and Palmigiana are geographically located in the Paklinski Islands archipelago. Tourism on Palmigiana was established in 1906 by Professor Eugen Meneghello on his 300-year-old estate. He imported exotic plants from all over the world and created a rare and magnificent botanical park. The botanical gardens of Palmigiana are full of exotic plants, tree-like opuntias, agaves, numerous other cacti and succulents, mimosas, eucalyptuses, laurels, olives and different kinds of aromatic herbs and plants.
On the other side of the marina is a bay called Vinogradišće, and there you can find one of the best restaurants in all the Hvar and Adriatic. The seafood, the meat, and all the atmosphere is really unique.
It's gorgeous.
It's unique and gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What's it like working over here? Can you focus at all? You're just so used to it, right?
I am used to it, but it's really nice. It's really nice, better than in some big city or in some big marina. But it's really nice. We come to work each day by boat, but we are never get enough of that. It's really a unique experience each day.
I'm gonna keep coming back.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful place. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This area of the Adriatic hides the greatest number of antique shipwrecks and places on the seabed where one can easily find amphoras. The Meneghello family amphoras collection is one of the biggest in the Adriatic because of this. The sea around Palmigiana is a treasury of fish, coral and incredibly beautiful undersea landscapes. Palmigiana is an ideal haven for anyone who wants to escape the bustle of city life. If you still want a crazy night out or sightseeing, the town of Hvar is only 2.5 nautical miles away. Along the deep, narrow bay lies the smallest town on the island, Vrboska, whose Vela and Mala Bunda are connected by picturesque stone bridges, which is why it is rightly called Little Venice. Surrounded by dense pine trees and with its bridges, paved streets and Renaissance and Gothic houses on both sides of the bay, which is adorned by an islet in the middle, is a sight you will be indifferent to. Stone houses reflected in the calm water and anchored fishing boats bathed in the sun give the place a special charm and intimate warmth. Verboska is known as the main fishing place of the island, and as a proof to that, it hosts a very rich collection in its fishing museum.
Right, so we are at the Fishing Museum.
Yes, welcome to Vrboska. This is our Fisherman's Museum, which was founded in 1972. And this museum keeps memory to the long and quite interesting tradition of fishery here in Vrboska and the island of Hvar. But actually the tools that are exhibited here were collected from the old local fishery families and also illustrates the fishing techniques on the whole Adriatic, because the tools were quite similar in different fishery communities.
Well, this was all of their livelihood, right? I mean, this is how they would feed themselves, and this was their main business, right?
For many families, this was the main income, and many generations of people from Verboska gained their education even abroad, thanks to fishery and in some parts to grape growing and wine production. Yes. Okay, let's continue to another room. Here we have several items from the old sardine factory that was established in Verboska in 1894. Throughout generations, many people worked in this factory, not only from Verboska, but also the neighboring villages. And maybe just to mention this revolutionary machine, this was used for closing the cans with anchovies or any other fish that was processed in the factory. And it allowed employees to work much faster than with traditional way
of manually doing it, right?
Yes.
Once an old fishing village has today turned into a charming tourist town, brimming with beauty at every turn, with numerous monuments, and the peace it exudes from every corner. It seems to captivate every visitor. With a large number of works of art preserved at the church fortress and the church of St. Lavender, Vrboska is a real treat for all lovers of cultural sites, and is certainly an indispensable destination for sightseeing the cultural heritage of the island.
Nicole, being on this board is such an addictive, beautiful feeling. I was really enjoying myself. But you do this every day and you've been doing it for
almost, this company exists for almost 20 years.
All right.
So we have this every day.
And what a life! Oh,
it is. And we try to give this beautiful feeling also onto all the guests that come to this island.
Sure. And you actually have a surf school.
Yes.
This is the only surf school in town or on the island?
The one and only windsurf school on the island of Hvar. And of course it's not only about windsurfing, it's also about stand-up paddling, kayaking, anything connected to the sea.
So what else do you do? You've also got bikes.
Yes.
Do you have bike rides organised or something?
Yes, we do have bike tours, so off-road or cultural tours and things like that. So basically, if it happens, which happens really rarely, that we have a low wind day, then we do have other alternatives here, active sports of any kind, even hiking is possible on the island. lots of different options. But usually winds are good. In the morning we have usually lighter winds, winds for beginners, so it's perfect for classes, lessons. And then the afternoon we have stronger winds, winds like Maestral and Tarmagana, so better for the other ones.
What a glorious treat. This is a proper little feast we're having here at a typical Dalmatian tavern. Is that right?
Yes, this is correct.
And this is called, actually, Konoba.
Konoba, yes, this is Konoba Dalmatia Tavern. In this place, generation before us really produce and keep wine. Today we are building new winery. Our new winery is a little bit behind this house, not far. But this old winery, we are keep it visitors, guests. Why? Because this house came from 16th century.
16th century?
Yes, century. Wow. And this part of my village, Verboska, is one of the oldest. The first signs when you're testing plavats, you must see the dark red color. And this is the very dry wine and also higher alcohol. Usually between 14.5 and 15. Yes, and also the good signs is ready. When you smell it, you don't feeling this higher alcohol. Why? Because plavats need the time to grow. We try to keep minimum 2 or 3 years in oak, what you maybe see in this part of our cellar. And then after this time, we are putting bottle. But plavats practically never done. Also in bottle time always work.
It keeps maturing.
Yes, and everybody knows the plavats is ages more better.
The historic center of the town, Piazza, is located on a steep elevation on the south side of the bay, which is about 4 kilometers deep. It is located around the church fortress of St. Maria. This interesting building was built by the Venetian Republic in 1575, after the Turks invaded, looted and burned Vrboska and the old church 4 years earlier. There is a celebration of St. Ivan's feast every year on June 24th. On the previous day, early in the evening, locals gather traditionally in the square next to the church and prepare material for burning pine trees. Everyone brings from home what they no longer need, which they're happy to throw and have the fire devour, symbolically marking a new beginning. It is actually a pre-Christian folk custom, belonging to a whole cycle of customs related to the winter and summer solstices, and the spring and autumn equinoxes. June bonfires are related to the harvesting traditions and the beginning of summer. In all parts of Croatia, there were customs related to Saint Ivan, most often related to burning of bonfires, which has remained in many areas to this day. All sorts of wood and branches are collected and then ignited, and children and young people jump over it. With the traditional burning of pine trees along with song, folklore and local specialties, the feast will continue until late into the night.
Hvar did get me a little drunk, but mostly with joy. And it has fed my heart and my soul, and I'm sure you'll agree that Vrboska and Yelsa are a feast for the eyes. See us again in the next episode of Sail Ho Croatia.